Yo, what's poppin', guys? Sizzle here, and me alongside most other Overwatch or just general content creators actually run the game above 60 FPS. I happen to be fortunate enough to have a 165 Hz display on my main monitor, which means I can see up to 165 FPS. Like, I can actually see the difference. If you have a 60 Hz monitor, you actually can't see anything past 60 frames. Regardless of what you might tell yourself, there's actually no difference for you. And you're kind of just coping if there is a difference. But yeah, because all the recordings are in 60 FPS, you guys actually don't even see the difference. Despite me having higher frames, all that does for me is it lets me react faster. It gives you kind of quicker responses. You can see things happen the tiniest bit faster, which means you can react to them the tiniest bit faster. But at the same time, I know a lot of people still to this day play 60 FPS. I mean, that's what I use whenever I'm on my Steam Deck, for example. And I'm on there quite a bit. Generally not to play Overwatch, but either way, I'm on there quite a bit. And I know most people, well, not most people, a good amount of people, though, that I know have computers that only reach 60 FPS. And I say only, like that's a bad thing. But 60 FPS is honestly all you need. And even though I haven't done it on Doomfist yet, I did play 60 FPS 100 ping Reinhardt before and do just fine. Like back when everyone was GM, it was good enough to keep me in GM. So I just want to give it a shot with Doomfist now. You know, that's the tank I've been leaning toward more and more as time goes on, because I feel like he's really the only tank in the game other than, like, I don't know, maybe Ramatra when he's better again, that can kind of handle anything you throw at him. He's also super fun. There's a lot to learn with the character, a lot of stuff like that. Still not great with him. But yeah, I'm going to be swapping down from, and by the way, for most of my recordings, I actually run 120 FPS, because even though my computer's pretty solid, I mean, you can see here, right, RTX 3060, it still kind of struggles when I'm recording things at 1080p 60. To actually hit 166 consistently. So I normally actually had it at 120, but now I'm going to bring it down to 65. Not the bottom line of 60, but just a little bit above it, because I found that when you set it to 60 exactly, it normally is a little bit under that. It'll be like 58 FPS, and that's just kind of weird. But I'd rather have the full 60. And yeah, I'm going to be trying to use this for a little bit from now on and see if I'm able to play with it. And if I am, I'm just going to stick with it. And I'm also going to do that in this video. I'm going to go hop in quick play right now and play some Doom and kind of see how things go. I'll go catch you there. Something I kind of forgot to mention while I was in the process of doing whatever the hell I was doing in the practice range and just kind of speaking, is that the main reason I'm doing this is because in order to reach the 166 FPS you saw and also 120 normally, I normally overclock my computer because I'm using a laptop. You kind of have to just do that. You have to, you know, boost up the fans and all that to actually get more performance. And I'd rather not do that. One, because the fans are pretty fucking loud, and anyone, even like one room over, is able to hear them pretty audibly. That's just not really pleasant. And two, because it tends to make my mic sound pretty notably worse. Like, it makes like this background noise in the mic, which I'm assuming is the fan, and the mic just doing a great job of kind of, you know, getting rid of that noise, but it still does pick it up, and it still does make the quality a little bit worse. And as such, I'm going to see if I can do this. I feel like I can. I mean, the game, obviously it's a little bit less fluid than it is when I'm at that full 166. And for those who are maybe going to leave a comment about this, about changing your monitor's settings to make sure you actually are on 165, don't worry, I've done that. I know the difference, alright? It is crazy, though. If you have a high refresh rate monitor, make sure you check in actual, you know, Windows and your display settings that you actually have, you know, the high hertz enabled. Most high hertz monitors, well, not most, but a good amount of high hertz monitors actually just start low hertz for no real reason. Like you can get yourself like a 144 refresh rate monitor, and it'll just start in 60 hertz for no fucking reason. And a lot of people don't even think to change that, which means they just are buying an more expensive monitor. I say expensive, but honestly, monitors are like one of the few things that has kind of stayed cheap as everything else went up in price. But either way, you spend out the extra money to get yourself a 144 refresh rate monitor, 144 hertz, and then a lot of people don't even change it off of 60, because they just assume, as I think is fair to assume, that a 144 hertz monitor would just be 144 hertz by default, and could be brought down to 60 if needed. But generally, it's actually the other way around. It actually normally is at 60 and has to be manually set to 144. So if you do have a higher refresh rate monitor, make sure you check that that's the case. But I have, and honest to God, between 60 and 100, 166, I noticed the difference. I know I can definitely feel it, but I don't think it's detrimental. It's like I said, it's like the minor difference. It should matter more on characters like Doom and Tracer than Ryan, because characters that you need to react faster with, it's gonna be rougher on, right? And Doomfist is one of those characters. Every like little step of Doomfist gameplay, generally super reactionary, right? Like you need to, like, the second something happens, you have to kind of be ready for it. Same thing with like Tracer or like Genji, for example. But Reinhardt or maybe like Moira or Torbjorn or something like that, you really don't need that instant reaction. Like, we're talking like, fractions of a second here difference. Which, for a lot of high-level gamers, that is a big difference. I mean, I'd say on Doomfist and Tracer, I would say if you're really just trying to win super, super hard and do everything in your power to do it, it can make a solid difference. It's not going to be the difference between you being like, GM and not or whatever, but it can very easily be the difference between you being like, let's say rank 1 or rank like 10 on the leaderboard. Man. I really thought that would be able to slide around the corner and hit her. I still need to kind of get better at this character. There's nothing to do with my frame rate. The game does feel completely fine, and I'm like actively trying to think, like I'm trying to notice the difference, and I barely notice it. Like I said, YouTube doesn't even record, well, sorry, it's not that YouTube doesn't record, but YouTube doesn't let you make any recordings above 60 FPS anyway, so you guys don't get any downgrading quality or anything. Like, it's literally just, it makes me like a fraction of a second slower to react to shit, but I mean, I don't think I'm really known for being stupid good at this game. I think I'm known for being decent. Like a lot of people know that I've gotten like GM on Ryan back when it was super easy to get, like a season ago, and then season 3 to 8 of Overwatch 2. Right, I think some people know me for that, but on the whole, people just know I'm like generally decent at the game, and I can still definitely perform that on 60 FPS, because that is the baseline. When you're under 60 FPS, I genuinely believe that it could be your setup holding you. Like I had a friend of mine, right, the Boo King. When he first played Overwatch, he played at 24 FPS. 20 fucking 4, bro. He played on the Mac, to be fair. Those things are not built to play any video games, but these days they kinda are. However, like, like 5 or 6 years ago when he started, that wasn't exactly the case. That's just fucked up to do. What the hell is that? But either way, Mac wasn't built to handle it, and he was at 24 FPS, and he was in like silver with that, which is crazy that he wasn't in bronze. I'll be honest, if I had to play 20 FPS and it wasn't like Reinhardt, and he did it playing Zen, right? So it was in Overwatch 1, Zen was a lot more demanding of a hero. You actually had to do pretty decent on, and that was pretty impressive. And then when he got himself a computer that could run the full 60, he was like instantly plat with me. Like he was like the same rank as me. It was literally just his setup holding him back. And I do think when you're under 60 FPS, or if your ping is above 100 consistently, that your setup genuinely is the reason. Well, not the reason, but a big reason of why you might not be succeeding. But that being said, these days computers are getting better and better. Stuff like the Steam Deck exists now. Like I said, I don't know if I said this in this take or another take. Either way, I play Overwatch on my Steam Deck sometimes, and it runs a solid smooth as 60. Like, just zero questions at 60 FPS. And that's on a $400 handheld PC thingy. If you have, like, a desktop PC of any kind, it can probably run Overwatch at 60 FPS. Beyond that, the Steam Deck can't do beyond that. It wouldn't really benefit from it either, because I still have my original model, which had a 60Hz display, which means it only displays up to 60 FPS. Yeah, like these stupid plays they're making, they're getting me killed. I would have made on 100-something FPS as well. So I might actually stick to this, honestly. Now, I am curious to see if I can maintain this while in, like, Laptops, if you know, have multiple different power profiles. I always say overclock, but the thing I normally use is turbo when I'm recording, because that just gives you, louder fans and shit, but it makes stuff run better. Then there's balance, which is what I use whenever I'm not recording, and I've been able to run any game, even at 100-something FPS, pretty fine when I'm not recording in that mode. There is like low power silent mode, but I almost never use that unless I'm in like class or something. And then there's also Windows mode, which is basically balance mode, but worse, as far as I can tell. But I guess some people might want the option of controlling that type of stuff through Windows settings. I don't really care to. I just, when I use a computer, I just want it to, like, work. I want to be able to just play games and do shit on my computer. Questions asked. Yeah, hell no. Fuck right off with that Junkrat. Junkrat not back here? Figured he might be, considering fire was kind of floating around like that. Yeah. I feel like I've seen like GM1 player with a Smurf called Zelda player. I don't remember who that was. Either way, I don't think this guy's that guy. It was just something I recognize. I didn't really look to the at the names until now. I was trying to think about what to say as far as the FPS, because that's kind of the whole. I'm sure the title of this video will be something like I tried Overwatch in 60 FPS or something, as if that's like a challenge. like I said, 60 FPS is the bottom of playability. When you're under 60. It's kind of questionable, but when you're at 60 FPS, like every game is built to run at 60 FPS. Most consoles run at 60 FPS. The exception being the Nintendo Switch, but even that would benefit from being 60 FPS, assuming that the game isn't tied to FPS. Because a lot of video games are programmed in a way that they are very heavily tied in with their FPS, so when you have a higher FPS, like the game logic and all that will get fucked up and not work the same. Like the game will like run faster and then things will move faster on screen and stuff when they're not supposed to. But pretty much everything else. Can't write. I keep forgetting that I'm chat banned. I was gonna write. I'm pretty sure it's 10 seconds. So I was gonna write in chat. Yeah, it hasn't changed. It just feels long. I will say it feels much longer since it charges faster now. That was simply a failure to execute the failure cosplay. Zen has been killed. I'm a happy man. Yeah, that's like half of my thing on tank. I literally just at the current moment when Zen has 275 health, really easy to hit shots. The Discord orb that's on like a 2-second cooldown if you go around the corner. And just really, really easy to play and get high value on. I just target Zen every time. See here, he Discord me way back there, and I've been behind a wall for how long without it going away? Yeah, overall, 60 FPS is completely fine as I expected it to be, but I just had to double check. I wasn't sure if, because Overwatch is a pretty high octane game. There's a lot of quick responses needed a lot of the time, and Doomfist and Tracer, especially characters like that, require it a bit more than others, other games especially. But I think I did decent. I mean, I wasn't like I hard carried this, but I wouldn't do that on 100-something FPS either. Game is completely fine, and the footage, let me know if the footage seems any different to you guys, but it should be the same. It is still the same footage, right? Because you guys get a max of 60 FPS. Even when I'm on 100 FPS, the game should actually look how it looks now for you guys, but let me know if you notice a difference, if it's maybe worse or better or whatever. And with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed this kind of rambling, and I guess, I don't know, maybe insight into what I'm doing right now. And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.